Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla. Let's go over the market. Let's talk about what happened today, what we can expect moving into the rest of this week, and all of that good stuff, really. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my technical analysis, updates, etc., I do have a membership section on YouTube where I share these thoughts every day, mainly on Tesla stock, of course, for just $3 a month. Yeah, literally every single day. Sometimes other stocks as well. The link is down below if you're interested, or for $5, you get access to all of that, plus NVIDIA daily updates. But ladies and gentlemen, jumping into a Tesla closing the day up really just 0.15%, not a whole lot, but compared to the market, held up actually pretty well, right? Actually held up pretty impressively. Pretty wild swings today as well. We wound up as high as just above 400, which was pretty damn cool. Very close to all-time highs. And then all the way down to 377. So from the very top, if you bought to the very top and you sold the very bottom, you're down almost 7%. That's a 7% from the highest point to the lowest point swing. Pretty wild stuff. But we closed pretty much right in the middle of it, right? Now, is this bad? Is this good? Is it bearish? Is it bullish? Well, let's talk about all of that. So first, I want to get certain things out of the way. Right now, obviously, remember how I said we exited the overbought bands a few days ago, right? We exited the overbought bands. We, set up a beautiful looking bullish rising triangle pattern. And we, of course, well, now we're playing it out, right? And we do have potentially a little bit more to go. However, the daily bands are back, at least at the very top today. We're at extreme levels once again. So, when you see these kind of things, and when I see these kind of things, and when I see the divergence indicators showing me that there's this many divergences, for instance, from yesterday, you can see the number 5 above yesterday's candle are being shown. I do take those signs as a bit of just caution. It doesn't mean it has to top here, especially when something like Tesla, of course, is rocketing and squeezing and really just getting that momentum train going. But it does start giving me some warning signals that, hey, maybe up here, be a little bit more careful, essentially, right? Be a little bit more careful. And that's kind of the main way I'm looking at Tesla right now, right? I'm a little bit on the more careful side here. Unless I see, and this is what I was telling my members this morning, actually, I said how I wanted to see at least a 15-minute candle closure above 400, really, right? Because if you go here and you bring out the extended hours, you can see, pre-market, Tesla was having a lot of issues. Where it was a drawing thingy, right? You can see it was having a lot of issues around this area right here, pre-market, right? And pre-market levels are usually pretty important, right? And you can see every time it got close to pretty much $400 per share, it got rejected almost every single time. And it couldn't really make above it pre-market. And then market opened, we had a nice massive rocket up above 400, but the 15-minute candle couldn't close above it. And in fact, it actually closed well below it, right? And these are the kind of things you want to be a little bit careful of, right? These are the kind of small little bull traps you want to be careful about. And then of course we sold off pretty aggressively. And then we actually, the last half hour or so, hour roughly, pretty good recovery. So the simplest way I see it is this: if we do want to go higher, and at the moment I have no reason to think Tesla is overall bearish. It's still overall bullish, despite maybe very short term some signs of concern, which I'll get into more in depth very soon. I want to see a 15-minute candle closure really above 400, just 399, 400. Like, I want to see a 15-minute candle at least close above that for me to give confidence that, yeah, we're ready to make our way, potentially well into the 400s, or at the very least, somewhere worth mentioning, if that makes sense, right? Until I see that, right, I'm not super confident about this yet. And in fact, very short term, I lean slightly more to the downside. And now let me get into why that is. Not to say that I'm bearish, not to say that I think Tesla's, it's topped and that's it, it'll never go higher kind of thing. Mainly because the momentum is still very strong to the bullish side. But the reason I'm still leaning a little bit more cautious here is because it's very far from the major indicators. For instance, the market bias, it's been far away, but it still remains to be extremely, extremely far away from the market bias as Tesla continues to squeeze. That's number one. Number two, though, the main thing that's making me a little bit worried is if I bring out these bad boys here, the 3 EMAs, right? So the 50 EMA you can see is all the way down here, pretty much where market bias is. That's not what we care about. What we care about are the 2 kind of more short-term ones, right? The green line and the red line, the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA. My issue is when a stock is rallying this aggressively and it's even far away from the 9 EMA, right? Which it is right now, Tesla, right? It is right now. That's where I'm getting a little bit, okay, I feel like we're a little bit overextended short term because, it's a fast moving indicator. The 9 EMA, it's a very, very quick one. It gets pretty hard for a stock to stay very far away from it and consistently stay away from it. So either one of 2 things, in my opinion, will happen over the next, couple of days or so. Either Tesla will come back down to it faster. So in other words, we'll come meet it to the downside, or I guess this middle scenario is we kind of meet in the middle where Tesla kind of goes down while this kind of catches up, and we kind of meet in the middle, let's say somewhere, you know, in the 370s or so, right? Low 370s, let's say, maybe tomorrow. Or Tesla goes sideways, right? That's the other option. We pretty much go sideways, kind of like what we did over here, right? You know, we kind of bounce off of it here, massive move up, and then, you know, we were well away from it, and then we just kind of went sideways for a bit, and then it caught up to us, right? And then we bounced off of it and went even higher. So that's kind of what I see right now, right? That's why I'm not in the ballpark right now of Tesla heading too much higher, I guess, unless we see a 15-minute closure above 400, mainly because we're too far away, for my liking personally, from even a very, very, very aggressive and very, very quick exponential moving average, which is of course that green line, the 9 EMA. So I'm seeing these kind of things, and, you know, despite the post-market action, we're up about 0.7%. Keep in mind that is, you know, for better or for worse, not always accurate. That's kind of why I'm a little bit more reserved, at least for now, right? I want to see Tesla get closer, or at least back down, or at least maybe go sideways and let this catch up to us, so it doesn't feel like we're getting too far ahead, too overextended, too overexcited, let's say, right? Like in a more unhealthy side. So that's the main way I'm looking at Tesla. But however, with that being said, as long as we remain above this green line, essentially this 9 EMA, I see no reason to be bearish. And also, as long as we remain above this red line, the 21 EMA, I still see no reason to be bearish. Now, if we start losing the green line, okay, you know, not necessarily bearish, but not as bullish anymore, right? Okay, we're slowing down here. We're slowing down. The train is slowing down. It's not going at full speed anymore. But then there's still the 21 EMA. If we lose the 21 EMA, I believe that, you know, this bull run has essentially come to a stop, and now we most likely begin like a mini correction / consolidation, most likely back down to the market bias / that 50 EMA roughly, right? And that's kind of the general kind of way, I guess, if you will, I'm looking at Tesla right now moving forward, right? And yeah, once the stock gets explosive, you pretty much want to watch these two main moving averages, because that's usually what keeps the momentum alive. Once they fall apart, that's when things will most likely start, well, kind of falling apart. For instance, like I was tracking this one here, KMI, same idea, you know, it has been tracking really, really well. But today you can see it closed below the 21 EMA. So let's see how that plays out moving forward for a stock like this. This could be potential, you know, example of what may come for Tesla if we also lose these, you know, short-term kind of bullish moving indicators, right? So let's see how that plays out. But that's kind of the main reason as to why, again, my current perspective on Tesla and why I'm not overly excited, despite me still holding my shares in my long-term account. I actually said I will sell at 400, and I'm not selling yet because, as far as I'm aware, it still wants to go higher until we lose these moving averages, right? As far as I'm aware, we still want to go higher. So I'm not ready to sell yet. I'm not ready to take profit on those just yet. I don't know, maybe I never will. I'm not really sure yet, honestly. Those are supposed to be long-term, but this move has been pretty aggressive. So yeah, that's kind of the main idea that I'm eyeballing right now. So let's see how this plays out. Let's see how it moves into tomorrow. Let's see how we, you know, continue to react around these levels. But again, to make it really, really simple, probably the worst case scenario I see right now for Tesla, while still being very, very bullish, is a move back down somewhere into the mid-ish 360s, kind of retest this breakout that we had here, retest that 9 EMA that's pretty much sitting right around that general vicinity as well, the mid 360s. And then we make our way higher. That's like my kind of worst case, while still being overall actually quite bullish scenario. While the kind of, you know, not the worst case, but the more realistic case is we relatively go sideways-ish while this moving average plays catch up. And then we need to see how we react when we come into contact with it once again, similar to how we did here and similar to how we did here, both of which obviously, you know, moved higher, right? Both of which led to a move higher. And essentially, I want to see something like this play out again. We kind of come into contact, get a nice little touch here, and then move higher. That's the ideal scenario for me. And that's kind of what I'm eyeballing and not getting, you know, I'm not rushing in too aggressively here. Let's just say that, right? But yeah, that's my overall perspective personally. In terms of options flow, let's take a quick look at Tesla and see how it's been performing. Let me go ahead and refresh just to make sure it is showing the most recent data, just in case. Oh, gotta log back in quickly. Give me a second here. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. So let's go to Tesla. This is, of course, cheddar flow. A lot of bullish flow into the close. I do like to see that. So a lot of bullish flow into the close. Clearly, some people are expecting a gap up on Tesla. A lot of this bullish flow is also for this week and next week. So I do like to see that. I do like to see that. Like I said, I still think Tesla is very, very bullish. I don't think it's bearish whatsoever. I just think it's a little bit too short-term, overextended. Again, too far away from the moving averages. But I do like to see this kind of bullish flow towards the end of the day. That is a good sign for the bulls, in my opinion, right? Definitely better than seeing the bearish flow, that's for sure. But in terms of here, you can see Tesla does have actually 50 million confirmed bearish flow according to Black Box. which tells me that maybe a good portion of the bullish flow has been closed out for the day, and the bearish flow started to really roll in and is holding through close, despite maybe this potential little gap up that these people are expecting, which we are already pretty much getting. For instance, if Tesla pretty much gaps up like this, they're probably already up, handsomely, let's just say that. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm expecting. I don't think we'll get a move above 400 just yet. I think we'll kind of maybe go sideways, worst case, move back down, meet up somewhere in the middle, roughly with the 9 EMA somewhere, low 370s to mid to high 360s. And then let's see how we react. And let's just pretty much assume that, so far, until proven otherwise, we're going to react exactly like we did more or less on these two situations here, right around this area here, in my opinion. And then we move higher, potentially to retest all-time highs. That's kind of my general perspective right now. So let's see how it plays out. Let's see what happens moving forward. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. And as usual, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.